current composition. YPP, sorry, not ABGA. Sorry. I apologize to Senator Ifan Yuba. YPP, sorry, please, not ABGA. So APC, 70 senators, PDP, 38 senators, YPP, 1 senator. Point of order, the Songwe Senator Sekibo.
Mr. President, I am Senator George Thompson Sekibo. I represent the Rivers East Senatorial District. Mr. President, Section 68 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Section 2, subsection 2, sorry. It reads us, can I go on, sir? Is a member if, Mr. President, I take you to G. Being a person whose election to the House was sponsored by one political party, he becomes a member of the period for which his membership of the later political party is not as a result of a division in the political party of which he was previously a member, or the President of the Senate, or as the case may be, the Speaker of the House of Representatives received a certificate under the hand of the Chairman of the National Electoral Commission, stating that the provisions of Section 69 of this Constitution have been complied with in the Speaker of the House of Representatives, as the case may be, shall give effect to subsection 1 of this section. So, however, that the President of the Senate or the Speaker of the House of Representatives or a member shall first present evidence satisfactory to the House, concerned that any of the provision of that subsection
You can enjoy my protection provided you stay within your lane.
Mr. President, party retain his seat until the end of that tenure, except there is a division in that political party, or there is a merger. And that is what the provision says. And it went further to say, such because of this. But our former member said he was leaving to go and breathe fine air, good air. He didn't say,
Please, let's allow him Senator Sekibo. Senator Sekibo. You have 1 minute to land. Yeah, no, we are not going to spend the...
Sir, as it please you. Now, our member who just left us now didn't give us that the party in that state was divided. No, I am coming, sir. He didn't say that there was a problem. All he said is that he wanted freedom, he wanted to breathe free air, he wanted to do the provision of the Constitution. Also, has not been complied with. I think that well, he has his own mind, he can go, but I think that we must be critical on it. I think my friend Kwasha should come back, which has not done.
Okay. You know, because you have come under a... First of all, our standing order, orders 2022 as amended. The Senate President is responsible for the observance of the rules of debate. He shall give rulings during debates. So you agree that I have that function. Secondly, please, just hold on, please. Second, provision. Deputy minority leader represents Taraba South Senatorial District and not you. He knows what is happening there more than you do. Thirdly, this letter says this PDP Senate caucus has duly informed the national headquarters of the party, and it's like the national headquarters has accepted. Lastly, is his fundamental human right. I know there's no way that this movement, there was a small resistance. My fear is you may have to perfect your acts because very soon you will be shocked by the massive movement that Joe Thompson Sekibo, leader of the Senate. Leader of the Senate.
Standing in my name on the National Biotechnology Development Agency Establishment Bill 2022. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title.
Clerk of the Senate.
63, first reading.
National Biotechnology Development Agency Establishment Bill 2022 HB 106.
Distinguished colleagues, the second business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of the distinguished Senator Chukwu Utazi on the Nigerian Center for Disease Control.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention Act
Control and Prevention Act 2018 Amendment Bill 2022 SB 906 first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
On the Internal Affairs Services Board Establishment Bill 2022. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of it.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. 9, first reading.
Internal Affairs Services Board Establishment Bill 2022 SB 909 first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Of a bill standing in the name of distinguished Senator Philip Kanimu Aduda on the Federal Polytechnic Orozo Establishment Bill 2022. Mr. President,
Polytechnic Orozo Establishment Bill 2022 SB 911 first reading.
Federal Polytechnic.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the fifth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of the Deputy Senate President, the distinguished Senator Mr. President, we wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate
Of certification of professional counselors in Nigeria Establishment Bill 2022 SB 914 first reading.
914 first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is a motion requesting the Senate to consider the request of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, for the confirmation of the nomination of Mrs. Emily Chidinma of the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation Act 2010. Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, to be referred to the relevant committee for further legislative action.
Chief Whip.
Be referred to the appropriate committee for further legislative action.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Chidinma Osuji, as Executive Director of the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, in accordance with Section 5, Subsection 4 of the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation Act 2010, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The committee on downstream petroleum sector to report back within 2 weeks. Leader of the Okay, sorry. I'll take that again, please. It's referred to the Committee on Banking, Insurance, and Other Financial Institutions to report back within 2 weeks. Thank you. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, the second order of the day is a motion requesting the Senate to consider the request of Mr. President Commander-in-Chief for the confirmation of the nomination of the following persons for appointment 41, subsection 2 of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. And the nominees are as follows. 1. Francis Alabo Ogari, Executive Director, Hydro Carbon Processing Plants. Alamurde, Executive Director, Health, Safety, Environment, and Downstream Gas Infrastructure Fund. Number 4, Bashir Sadiq, Executive Director, Corporate Services and Administration. Mr. President, distinguished Senate, legislative action. I therefore move Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, this is a recommittal request. The bill on Federal Polytechnic Orogun Delta State to the Committee of the Whole. The Senate recalls that the Federal Polytechnic Orogun Delta State is issues which require fresh legislative action by both chambers of the National Assembly emerge to correct the observed errors in the bill. Considering that Mr. President, the institution is in the process of commencing academic activities and relying on Order 1B and Order 52, subsection 6 of Senate 2 as amended, accordingly resolves 1. To rescind its decision on the bill as passed for further consideration and passage. I so move.
Minority Leader. Any comments? Leader, Committee of the Whole.
Mr. President, my highly respected colleagues, I rise to move that this Senate resolves in the Committee of the Whole for further legislative action. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. This bill has 29 clauses, not a controversial bill, very straightforward. So those in favor that clause 1, clause 2, clause 3, those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that clause 6, tenure of office of the registrar on page 4, clause 7, clause 8, clause 9, and clause 10 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that clause 11 It's like 11 has been repeated. Huh? It's like 11 has been repeated. So there's no 12. It's supposed to be 12, it means we have to correct it. So we correct selection board for other principal officers, that will be 12. So those who are clause 12, clause 11, clause 12, clause 13, 15, stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 16 is on page 11. Those who are at clause 16, clause 17, clause 18, clause 19, and clause 20 on page 17. Stand part of the bill say aye. Those against 21 on page 17, funds of the council, clause, no, 21 is repeated in three places. Huh? Okay. So 21 on page, the first 21 will be 22, and the second 21 will be 23. 23, 24, and 27 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who are at the short title, those who are at the schedule, stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who are at the long title on page 1, stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I rise to move that the chair reports progress. I so move.
Off your mic.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor distinguished Senator Sakibo, are you scouting for your place? Okay. Take your time. State aside from Bill 2022 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended. Clause 1 to 27 as recommended. As recommended. Schedule as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the committee of the whole? Thank you. Leader of the Senate. Thank you very much. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that this will be now read the third time, say aye. Those against, say nay, the ayes have it.
Established the Federal Polytechnic Oregon, Delta State, to provide full-time courses in technology, applied sciences, management and matters 2022. Third reading.
A bill for an act to establish the Federal Polytechnic or Ogun Delta State to provide full and part-time courses of instruction and training in different fields of studies and for related matters 2022. Third reading taken.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the fourth order of the day is the second reading of the Federal Medical Center of Bukpa in Suka, Enugu State. We want to invite distinguished Senator Chukwuka Utazi to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
Distinguished Senator Chukwuka
They are going to be. Obupa Nsuka, Enugu State Establishment Bill. Colleagues, arise to lead the debate on the general principles of the Federal Medical Center Establishment Bill 2020-2021. This day primarily and essentially 6 State. Enugu North Central District, densely populated and from secondary health institutions that dot the senatorial district. This district being a gateway from the center and sharing borders with Kogi and Benue states, it means from its location and position in Nsukka, rather than going to far-flung tertiary health institutions in Lokoja and Makurdi. Between the north and the southeast is a major attraction to the herdsmen because of easy availability of water bodies and all-year-round green vegetation for their cattle. As a population of Enugu North Central District put an enormous pressure on the inadequate primary and secondary health institutions is located at extreme end and on the way out of Enugu to Abia, Imo States, to the south-south region. Because before you conveying is the remains of the patient to the moods, as he or she would have died long before getting anywhere near the bane of citizens in a 21st century Nigeria. And the return for my people is is the Enugu North Central District, say parts of Nigeria. But then, the question is, why Obupa? It is Obupa because that was the original site for UNTH before away from the main campus of University of Nigeria and Nsukka. And in the process, sited within the main campus. That is objectionable and unconscionable, but we are living with it. The good news, however, is that if the Federal Medical Center bill is passed into blocks built for the takeoff of the University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital in Obupa, and there Center bill approved for my district. I have committed part of my zonal intervention Federal Medical Center and ambulance. Dug hole for it. Show our preparedness to and thickly populated senatorial district. This is not to talk of border communities from Kogi and Benue State, inclusive of countless settlements of Fulani herdsmen. Distinguished colleagues, this parliament is a parliament of representatives of our people. As a senator, the core responsibilities of each and every one of us are threefold. Representation, lawmaking, and oversight. 158 votes in the 2019 election, but will not only to support the expeditious passage of this bill, but ensure that Mr. President gives us centrality to the health of Kogi and Benue border communities, in compliance with Order 77 trade compendium showing the financial implication of the proposed bill on the Treasury is here to attach for your kind consideration. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much.
Distinguished Senator Uche Ekunefe Iyom.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Uche Lilian Ekunefe. Mr. President, I come from Anambra State. Mr. President, I would like to commend my brother, Senator Tazi, for this very wonderful bill he has presented to us this morning. Mr. President, this bill is quite stressed. It's not a bill that we're going to waste so much time on. Mr. President, with the growing population in Nigeria, it has become very compelling that we establish medical centers across the nation. Mr. President, we are calling for this establishment because many of the health centers we have in different towns in this country are not working. They are not functional, they don't have medical personnel, they don't have drugs, they don't have equipment, they don't even have good environment for people to have access to them. Mr. President, we have 177 local government areas in this country. I don't think we'll have even one local government that has the number of medical centers or hospitals that can take care of the population in that particular local government. Mr. President, last week, Senator Patrick brought a bill like this, and I suggested that we should have well-functioning medical centers in different zones of this country. As it is today, the citizens don't have access to proper medical care in their environment. That is why we have different private hospitals everywhere. It is the responsibility of the government to ensure that the citizens have access to quality medicare. It is their right. It is our constitutional obligation that citizens get proper and well affordable Medicare in this country, but they don't have. Many parents will take their children to hospital, they will not even have the money to offset the medical bills. The government hospitals are not working. The ones that are working don't have medical personnel. They don't have equipment, they don't have drugs. Therefore, in supporting this, I'm supporting the believing that government should go back to fund, equip, and make our health centers across this country to be functional. Let citizens have access to proper and quality health care. Mr. President, I support this, and I call my colleagues to please give support to this very meritorious bill. I so submit, Mr. President.
Is anybody against the bill? Is anybody against the bill? Those in favor that this bill be now read the second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the legal framework to establish the Federal Medical Center of Nsukka, Enugu State, and for related matters 2022 SB 599, second reading.
A bill for an act to provide the legal framework to establish the Federal Medical Center of Bukpa, Nsukka, Enugu State, and for related matters 2022, second reading taken. And the bill is referred to the Committee on Health to report back within 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the fifth order of the day is the second reading of the Firearms Act, Cap F28, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2022. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this distinguished chamber on Wednesday, 2nd February 2022. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Mohammed Sani Musa to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
Distinguished Senator Mohammed Sani Musa.
Thank you, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues. I'm Mohammed Sani Musa, representing Niger East Senatorial District, and I'm going to read the lead debate on the Firearms Act, Cap F28 LFN Amendment Bill 2022. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I thank you most sincerely for the privilege to lead the debate on the general principles of this important bill. The bill seeks to repeal Firearms Control Act number 32 of 1959, Cap F28, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and enact the Firearms Control 2022 to prevent the proliferation of illegally possessed firearms and providing for the removal of those firearms from society, and by improving control over legally possessed firearms to prevent crimes involving the use of firearms. Mr. President, my highly respected colleagues, the essence of this bill is that the existing legislation, the Firearms Control Act number 32 of 1959, Cap F28, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, is inherently inaccurate and simply does not meet the needs of a modern society in this very modern world. You will recall that the bill was first read on the floor of this Senate on Wednesday, 2nd February 2022. The main aim of this bill is to tighten firearms control and curtail the proliferation of illegal arms and bring it in line with global best practices to effectively address some of the security challenges being currently plaguing Nigeria. The Nigerian gun, or as may also be referred as firearms, has an act that clearly spells out and defines all about firearms in possession, licensing, transfer, among others. Gun laws and policies, collectively referred to as firearms regulation or gun control, regulate the manufacture, sale, transfer, possession, modification, and use of small arms by civilians. Many countries have restrictive firearms policies, while a few have permissive ones, and Nigeria is not exempted from such consistent policies and regulations. In spite of this, the country is experiencing the most devastating effects of the proliferation of illegal weapons as a result of spillover effects of the crisis in Libya and Mali, as well as unresolved internal conflicts in different parts of the country, such as the Northeast, Niger Delta, and other regions. The illicit proliferation of small arms and light weapons has had a dramatic impact on peace and security in Africa, threatening not only the existence of the Regional Center for Peace and Disarmament in Africa. It was reported that proliferation of illicit small arms and light weapons in Nigeria has reached an alarming profile. 100 million weapons that may be circulating in West Africa, 350 million, which represents 70% of such weapons, can be interception and seizure of 661 pump action rifles imported illegally into the country from China. One can only imagine intercepted. Hence, there is the need to have legislation in place that will control firearms in this country. Possess firearms, and by providing for the removal of those firearms from society, and by improving the use of firearms. Supply, possession, transfer, and use of firearms, and to detect and punish the negligent system of firearms control and management, and ensure the efficient monitoring and enforcement of legislation, arms in criminal activity, specifying weapons perceived as being capable of inflicting the greatest damage, and those most easily access to firearms may include those below a certain age or having a criminal record or others. Such persons with a history of domestic violence, alcohol, those applying for firearms license may have to demonstrate is what this bill seeks to do, among others. The developmental gains achieved over last 50 years, but will also impede the nation's capacity to achieve its developmental targets. Securing the lives and property of Nigerians is very strategic to the development as an instrument to tackle the 21st century security challenges is simply ineffective. This bill deserves your urgent second reading. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Ibrahim Hassan Hadeja.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ibrahim Hassan Hadeja, the Northeast. Mr. President, I rise to not only commend my brother and colleague for bringing this amendment, giving speedy passage. Mr. President, because just like Senator Sani Musa said, the original Mr. President, I rise to